Grand Rising family, it's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained. And today, I'm just going to go ahead and do something, a little freestyle. I used to do videos like this, but, I haven't done any in a while. So, again, all I'm doing here is provoking thought. Um, Again, I know that we are all in different levels of thinking, um, on different levels of comprehending, of seeing, and on in this awakening, right? So everybody has their own job to do, and everyone has their own calling. Again, to each his own. Okay, I let people have their own opinions and their views. If I feel like I can add something to it, I will. If it's not really for me, or if it's getting too out of hand, then I won't. Okay, so again, I've been getting a lot of activity on the page or whatever, about posting some things that, you know, again, will incite some type of mm, like attack mode, right? Because of cognitive dissonance, right? That's just basically your reality being challenged, okay? And so it incites anger and rage, and then you can't have a conversation because, again, people can't stay on subject. They have to go off subject. They have to start talking about other things and whatnot. Okay, so again, everybody that's been following me for a long time, and been watching my posts, you know where I'm coming from. Okay, so I just wanted to go ahead and talk more about this because this topic was just brought up, and I'm just thinking, right? Okay, this is something that we should all do, right? So I'm thinking, okay, it's so funny how, okay, first of all, it's supposed to be this whole lockdown, this whole pandemic. Second of all, certain people, Aborigine people, have been under attack in this manner for a very long time. It's been going on for years, years, and years. So, kind of like, I see biblical plan, or whatever some people might call it, prophecy here, about not even Jacob's trouble, but something to the along the lines of rousing even the lion, or even along the lines of giving them hell for a certain, giving a certain group of people hell for a certain amount of time, right? So again, I know that what I see when it comes to this matrix or this world or this caste system, that everything ain't what they tell you it is. You have to deal with discernment, you have to deal with history, you have to deal with all of these aspects in order to gain a better understanding or overstanding and see. So my question is, we having this whole pandemic going on, right? Sometime, the thing was supposed to be, something that would affect elders, and then it goes into affecting so-called black people, because of the underlying illnesses or ailments or whatever. And then it goes from that to, oh, we want to check people for antibodies, okay? And then it goes from the antibodies to, and again, all this stuff that's happening, there's what's happening on the surface, what's really going on that these people at the top already know that's a part of the plan. And then there's a spiritual and biblical aspect to everything that you see on mainstream media, right? Okay. So, right now, okay, right now, because this is happening to so-called black people, which are people that don't really exist. They're dead by law. And in this instance, because you don't know that calling yourself that is giving them the reins to the reign, right? Is giving them the reins to do the things that they're doing to you, because you are not a human being. You are not a people by law in your jurisdiction, by being a misnomer like black or African American. That's first off. So things that were put into place in like 1700s, things like the Casualty Killing Act and things like this. Why are you thinking these people are never getting arrested or getting tapped on the wrist or seemingly being jailed? Okay, we don't know if they are or not, to be realistic with you, because these things were never resent. Okay, the Casualty Killing Act, is that still effective now? Could that be why they can do this in public with the cameras rolling, and you're like, oh man, this and that, and you're not getting, because you don't research. You deal with what your emotions are, what's right in your face, what's right on the surface, and you do no further thinking. Okay, so what is that going to do for us seeing black people being slaughtered on television, in the manner that they do, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go into what the media actually really is. Okay. We're just going to see what etymology says that the media is. Again, it'll be a surprise to me. Again, I'm just doing this, you know. Okay. So let's see what the media is. Newspaper, radio, TV, etc. 1927, perhaps abstract from mass media. 1923, again, back in 1923 and 1800s, they used newspapers and things to create propaganda or to create propaganda in order to get people, in this instance, so-called white people or other people, to fear or go against black, so-called black people or other groups of people, right? So they would use it as a tool to create this thing, right? This monster, or create lies or try to give a certain narrative, okay? Mostly false, okay? In order to, and all you have to do is to incite this, then incite fear, and then you will get the masses to do whatever you want them to do under control, right? Okay? So let's see the press. Crowd, throng, company. Again, this stuff is a company. It's all under a corporation. The people that are arguing with me don't understand that that's what the United States is. It's a corporation. Okay, it's basically a corporation, um, and they are a they are a foreign entity. Okay, within that have a republic or something like it, okay, or the District of Columbia, that is operating out of the 10-mile radius, a 10-mile radius in DC, okay, okay, and when you think back at slavery, the so-called slave trade and the slave companies, this stems from that, okay. So that's one thing that we should probably look into, okay. So it says crowding or jostling of a throng. Again, okay? A massing together. Again, they are putting this media out there to press on you, to press the minds of the people. And this is a part of the corporation that has to do with the entertainers and your celebrities and the television and your it has to do with the media. It has to do with the politicians. And it seems as though Trump is fighting with the media right now. But again, it's all a part of the act. It's all a part of the act. These people plan things out very meticulously, and they take a very long time to create these narratives, right? So again, when I say something like fake news or a psyop, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that no one died there, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that the whole thing is staged and faked, even though those have happened as well, okay? Where they hire a cast of people, okay? And they even have a name for it. It's just kind of goes past my mind right now. That they have these actors, okay, that they call in to do these kind of skits, right? Okay, to create, again, to, and then sometimes they use these things to create a narrative, okay? So no one's saying that black people, so-called, are not being killed by police. No one's saying that it shouldn't be upsetting. The point is, they know it's upsetting, and that's why, since they have a mass of us or a large group of us grouped together, and they know how we operate and how we feel about one another, that never has fucking worked. It don't work. Us feeling some type of way about this is not going to be the thing to work. You going out marching in the street ain't gonna have nothing to do with the outcome from this. This is not gonna change anything. Tearing shit down ain't gonna change. That's exactly what you're falling into, the snare, into the trap. That's exactly what they want you to do. Okay, and someone says that, okay, well, this sounds like that might be fear talk, someone that is afraid of this. No, honey, that's not the point for me. I don't fear this because I know what I see. And there is, see, when you're in tune on a different level with the source or ancestors, they will guide you and they will let you know when it's time for you to do what they're talking about doing, or what these people are doing right here. I don't let the media or nobody else, no man, deceive me or control my thoughts and my opinions, and my my senses. Okay. So again, throng, crush, crowd, wine, or cheese press. Okay. So let's see, meaning devise for pressing cloth. Okay. We talk about a lot about cloth, here, but or the fabrics or whatnot. Okay. So also since it's devised to squeeze juice from grapes, okay, or blood from, again, when we're talking biblical, but see, my mind goes all through all those things when I'm, because of the research that I've done over the years, the extensive research that I've done in these areas. That does not mean that I know everything. All I am doing is trying to get people to think, including myself. So when I put stuff out there, it may just be something that came to mind for me to think or put it out there in order to incite thought. Okay, not fear, you know what I'm saying? Not really even necessarily judgment. It is just to incite thought, and then maybe we can get somewhere from that. Okay, so again, device to squeeze juice from grapes. Now, I know to some of you, if you're not well versed or you're not doing research or you're not studying words, this probably doesn't mean much to you, but hopefully to those who have or do, this will. Okay, so a machine for printing. Okay, let's see. The press, meaning journalists, collectively is attested to. Now, again, know that when these people are doing these interviews and these things, when they're doing their reports on the news, they are reading from a script. It's a script that's given to them from a higher up level in that industry. Every industry has a pyramid scheme, okay? It has the people at the top that know exactly what the fuck is going on. The other people down below that's getting orders to carry out. And as it trickles down to the bottom of the pyramid, which is includes the lower end, the employees, okay, the staff, okay, and it also includes, in some instances, the more than likely the everyday people, the poor white regular everyday people, the black, brown, whatever. Okay, these so-called titles that they've given us, or races. Okay. So again, the top always controls the narrative, and what trickles down are orders, and those people are maybe not privy to what's really going on, and they may even be questioning some things, but because it came from the top, they are going to go ahead and do it. Okay. Okay. So again, think of this in a different way. Could someone be pressing an issue in order to incite something or to control a narrative? Okay. Let's see what medium is. A middle ground, that which holds a middle place and position. Again, this will be in the middle of that pyramid when it comes to the caste system. Let's see, many of the secondary senses are via the notion of intervening substance through which a force or quality is conveyed. Let's just see, meaning media. Okay. So let's go back and let's just look at mass media real quick. Singular mass media, means of communication that reaches a large number of people. So again, what I'm saying on my channel and things, they're not going to talk about this on the media. They're never going to put this on a mainstream platform, right? Again, because it goes against the narrative. Same thing with their special scientists that just are the world's greatest, that are telling you all these things about this disease. So could all the best doctors that they pick. Again, understand that if you want to push something and this is your tool, these are their tools, the media. Entertainment, that's their tool to keep the space in your mind open to what they want you to think and closed to what that voice within and what the spiritual realm is trying to reach out and show you. Once you quiet that and you turn off music, I don't listen to music, okay? And if I do, it's probably the oldies. I don't watch TV. I don't have cable. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I've already washed my mind of all that in order to let in something that is going to benefit me much more than anything that, again, fiat currency or anything that these people have to offer, which is glamour or any other thing that these people have to offer. It does not appeal to me anymore, right? Again, in my eyes, knowledge is the new currency. Okay, so that's the way I operate, right? Okay, so that's the lens that I'm using every time when I'm looking. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so again, now we know what the media is used for. Okay, and I don't know if everybody's going to be able to see the same or get the grasp what I'm trying to say. Okay, so again, along the lines, we already went through the fact that this pandemic is going on. At one point in time, it was turned over to, oh, it's affecting more black people. Then all of a sudden, they find out, oh, we need antibodies. Okay, so now they want people's antibodies. And just think of this, I always reference this to the antichrist again, because a lot of this stuff with this coronavirus is deeper than what they're saying. Could have something to do with, again, like I said, whenever these economic collapses, these pandemics that come along with famine, they're not showing us that much on the amount of people that's starving to fucking death here in America. Because again, if it was about the lives, we would have planned, and we would have been having something in immediately. Okay, they already know what was going to happen, right? The timeline. So we would have had something in effect immediately to feed this nation. Okay, if that's the case, just because it's not happening in your town doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay, so pestilence, famine, war, just because we're not aware doesn't mean, again, this is a covert warfare that's being used on certain people, right? So what I'm saying, okay, to get to it, about this here, what do you call it? I plan to have another image up, and I don't have it here, about the Trayvon Martin thing, and to find out what some things that I didn't know about his father. Being a so-called Mason, and a lot of things that started to kind of look kind of funny about that whole thing too. So again, I'm not denouncing the harm to so-called black folks, but ask yourself, when is the last time that you've seen any news mass media report nationwide on a so-called white person being killed in public, on the public arena, video recorded and shared and promoted and passed around and talked about and I love the way that they use these terms. A black man was just killed by a white man. When is that even necessary? Do you ask yourself these questions when y'all listen to this stuff? Because I can see right through it. It's just like it comes in one ear and it just goes out in a different tune, right? Okay, so this is a lynching, and then you got your so-called black leaders, that come out the woodworks and start speaking on it and saying how this is a slaughterhouse and this is lynching of, you know what I'm saying? So again, not to denounce the fact that this could be happening, is just, I'm saying they're using it in their platform at the time to get something else done. And in my eyes, when they're doing something like this along the lines of this pandemic, we're not really hearing about any other news. They dig up a case from 2 months ago. Whether this is all, like I said, fake, psyop, or real. Okay. They did, I guess this other thing that happened with somebody being shot in the back, my daughter was saying a couple days ago. Then you have this right here. You can obviously be seeing that they are using their tool to incite something. And if anger gets the best of you and you get out there in those streets, again, there's other ways that we can do this. They want to deal covertly, you can too. How about when they open, see, they're doing all this stuff while it's shut down and while they have military moved into most of these cities, right? So how about you be smarter than that? How about when they open the gates back up and they trying to force vaccinations, because there's going to be stipulations that are going to be left over from this when they so-called open back up. How about we agree to not participate in anything that they have to offer? That means voting. That means school. That means not taking your ass to work. That means, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure these people are not going to work today because they out in the street. You know what I'm saying? How about withholding, okay, that fiat cash that, again, is not going to be worth, that currency that's not going to be worth anything in a minute because everybody is drawing away from the American dollar. Okay? So again, what are we really seeing here? When have you ever seen a so-called white person being killed by a white person or a black person or anybody, and it's been put on this level? Do you know that fear and anxiety and stress also weaken the immune system? Do you know that they use these things to keep us in that lower vibrating realm so that we cannot advance? We're supposed to be going within right now. We're supposed to be going within, using discernment. We're supposed to be leveling up. Again, I can't tell you how that's supposed to happen to you. For you, it's already happened to me. We are supposed to be analyzing these things. We're not supposed to be doing the same things. Again, I'll never forget something. Dick Gregory can be all over the place, when he speak. But I'll never forget him talking about during Rodney King. He pointed out some, funny things about the video clip, and he also said that during those that Rodney King riot, somewhere in California where a riot was going on, that thousands of so-called black people never made it home. They got lost, but they were so-called arrested and taken by paddy wagon or whatever. But they never made it. They just disappeared. They never made it back home. And that sticks to me every time I see one of these things here, and people think they know best and that this is the way that we're supposed to be handling it. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting your life at risk. And we've seen over and over in time throughout history that this has never ever been effective. It has never been effective. You know what I'm saying? That make me think that the real scary people that's not thinking correctly are the ones that run out in the street, and the real soldiers that's ready to hold their ground and fight to the end is the ones that's going to be smart about it. They're going to take their time and stride. They're going to really pay attention to the situation, and then they're going to also plan. They're going to plan something, and they're going to plan something that is going to really hit these people in the gut. Sorry, that's my phone. That's really going to affect this system. And that's you being absent. And when November comes and they're wondering what the so-called black vote is, it won't be there. That's what a real warrior would do. That's what a real empress would do. Priestess, shaman, those of us that are being fine-tuned and in tune with something that's higher than that. That see that this has never worked in the past. So whether you believe this is real or fake, it happened or it didn't, even me thinking that they're using it as propaganda, to incite anger and get you guys and pull. It's just, look at this dude. Look at the look on this dude's face. This look like something that just you see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up. Pay attention. Things ain't always what it seem on the surface. And if you dealing on the surface, you ain't dealing with nobody like me or the people that I rock with, because we can see this and we are the ones that are trying to tell you. But no, you're still watching the media and you're still listening to what these people are telling you on there. You're still listening to the media and you're paying attention to what these people are telling you, and that is a distraction. And if you can't see it's a distraction, you ain't built for what's to come. Period. So this is, again, condolences to this man if this really happened to him. I don't do nothing every day with my personal Facebook page that don't have nothing to do with me on it anymore for the past 6 years, 7, 8 years. Okay. I have been promoting information that I feel is very important for the so-called American Negro, or Aborigines to realize. It takes steps. It's about, filling your mind again with knowledge. Okay. Having eyes to see and ears to hear. Okay. It's about knowing, not faith and belief. Okay. We have to do better. We have to do better. You're leaving yourself open when you're going out doing this. You're leaving yourself open. Organ harvesting is a thing. If someone is looking at this pandemic and you're thinking that some of this stuff can be about harvesting organs, or it can be about the money that these people are getting for Medicare patients, what do you think is going to happen if all these people get taken away? Do you know that even there's been things passed that if you end up getting arrested and going to jail in one state, that they can send you anywhere they want to send you to serve your time? You know what I'm saying? There's other things that you're not paying attention to that's going on that you should know before you go ahead and do any of these acts. It's never worked. Marching has never worked. Again, what y'all really probably afraid of is standing your ground. Okay? Standing your ground and just stepping back and seeing what happened without you in this system. Have you ever tried that? No, you haven't. Okay, because that will work. And we're afraid, it seems, of things that will actually work. Okay, so again, you're not, you're not impressing anybody by saying you want to go out and you going out and you got guns and you're going to fight in the street. It doesn't matter. If we're being targeted the way they're showing you here, we can do whatever you want to do. It's never going to happen. You're going to be defeated. Period. It's just a smart thing to do. You're going to be defeated. You better retreat, come up with a plan, and do something else that, again, you don't even have to leave your home. You don't even have to leave your home. All you have to do is unite and take a stand. I ain't talking about for no damn 1 week. I ain't talking about for no holiday season. I'm talking about when they open back up, we sit down. I'm talking about blocking the vote when they wonder what the black vote gonna be in November. This is just an introductory. Again, I'm trying to get back in tune with doing these type of videos. So I hope it doesn't seem like it's all over the place, but I hope that you guys kind of see where I'm coming from. We need to know that this whole construct or this system, okay, I'm going to take you one more place real quick. Again, the model just has to be created in your mind so that you can actually really see. Okay? So let's go here real quick. Let's see. Okay. Are we going to be able to see? Let me see if I can move this over. Okay. What we have right here is the structure. Again, if you don't follow me on my YouTube channel at American Aborigines Unchained, or on Instagram at Shay_Seeking, or on YouTube at, again, American Aborigines Unchained, you'll see that I talk about this a lot. Okay? What I'm trying to say when I'm putting things out there about these people. So I look at the biblical, historical, the so-called legal, okay, the legalese or the law part as much as I can, okay, and then what we can actually see using discernment, knowledge, and then your own experiences as a group of people to see what we're really dealing with, okay. Again, so there's no God in the sky, there's no devil under the ground. What I keep telling you is that this hidden hand here that's above everything, okay, which is probably a living creature on this earth, okay? And the earth, again, in your Bible, is talking about so-called black people or Aboriginal people, okay? Again, the waters, mostly when they're talking about waters and things like that, is talking about the foreign entities that are here under these terms here, okay? So again, the priests and academics is the main thing to have your, again, think about this as this is the outwardly view, okay? This is the outwardly view. Inward, okay, this is your third eye. This is representing your third eye, okay? But right now, you have in that space for your whole entire life now, most of you, without a choice, okay? You have the priest, which is the church, and you have academics, which is the school, consuming this space of your crown chakra, your pineal. And again, we're going past that now, right? A lot of us are leveling up. Okay, we're getting in tune, and we're able to consume this space again. Okay, so this is why a small amount of people can see these things that you cannot see. Okay, and they're giving you a message again, not for you to think what they think, but for you to open your mind and do the same type of work. That's it. This represents the kings, represent your presidents, and these represent the forces, your military might, and the police. Again, this merchants and landowners, this is the system that, this is the judicial system. This is the, again, think of it as the slave masters back in the day. The merchants, this has to do with entertainment, consuming, being a consumer. This has to do with them even being influencers of certain products. So all the people that have to do with, like, you know, the kind of stuff that we think we need in our life and we really don't, whether it's paying taxes and shit or buying whatever you want. You know, again, I would be one to go back to the most simplest way of living, but that's just me. And then again, these are the seed of God. They are all in the abode of God. They are protected by this abode of God. If something happens to these people, something's going to happen to the people that did it to them. This is why you don't see them dealing with the things that we under here, right? In the Sheol, in the hell, with the serpent. If you look up the dome earth, you will see it. That is us underneath here. Okay, the outcast. You've been cast out. This is why we use the term aboriginal, because again, the ab means you've been sent away. Again, this is why the 1828 dictionary describes the American as a copper-colored aboriginal people that was found here by the Europeans, but the term is now applied to the children of the Europeans. That's them. They might have been brought in as slaves and down low at first, but all the Bible, when it's talking about bringing somebody back up high or giving them freedom or something, even 1776, it's talking about these people, not you. This is the enmity between their seed and your seed. You are not a part of this. You were never supposed to be brought into their churches to learn religion their way. You can look at the book because, again, once you're in tune, you can see things that other people may not be able to see. But you were never supposed to be a religious, faithful person, believer. That's the word I want to look for. In their particular God. Their God is the God, their gods or God is the God of creation. You are the pre-Adamite people that were already here across the world on every continent, not just Africa, melanated people that were living across the world prior to this being brought here. Okay? So, again, this system is the oldest form of so-called slavery that covertly we're still operating under. Okay? They call it freedom. Yeah. But again, you don't even know that when they're talking about we the people, it don't include you because you still 3/5 of a human being. So again, I hope that I know it's all over the place, but I hope it brings some understanding to you. They say this is the Western Foundation. Again, this kind of looks a lot like the ancient Egypt, okay? The ancient Egyptian, which is separate from modern day Egypt, and there were in two separate places, whether you believe it or not. Sorry. This structure is more like, okay, let's just go back. We'll go back to it. Hold on one second. This structure is more like what we would have seen then. Okay. Even when so-called white people were over here being enslaved by even darker colored pharaohs or empires. Okay. So again, that's the part of history they won't tell you. Again, same way they can show you 50 million videos about 50 million movies about slavery, but they will never do one on so-called white slavery. But you'll hear people come out and say, well, there was white slavery too. But again, you will never. Sorry, that's my messy background. But you will never see one come out. You will never see it. Same way you'll never see a so-called white person being slaughtered on the news the way that we've just seen. It just won't happen. Okay? So, let's see. Now, if we start to question that, it may. I noticed that that's the way they work. They listen to what we're saying on a mass level on social media, okay? And then you'll see them kind of try to combat it, you know what I'm saying, on the news, okay? But anyhow, let's just think of this as the ancient Egyptian system, because they had a system too. The Pharaoh was at the top. Then he had all his priests and judges and everything like this. Then he had the warriors or whatnot. And then everybody else, including so-called white slaves, were under this jurisdiction. There was none of this. There was nothing trampled down and killed or dead by law, which that's what you are if you're using the term black to describe your nationality or your race. Okay? So, this was all in one thing, and everybody was treated. That's why they always say, well, people had already did slavery, but it wasn't that kind of slavery. They're right. It wasn't. It wasn't to keep someone down. Everybody was on the same playing field. And that's how some of these people that made it come in as slaves underneath these empires trickled their way up. You see what I'm saying? Into this. And this is how the last dynasties that we're always talking about when they're talking about modern day Egypt or Egyptology, those are once the melanin was gone, those are the empires that I do believe were so-called white or amalgamated. Okay, so there's not that much of a lie to say that ancient Egypt was somewhat a white, a so-called white, people. Okay, so this is toward the end, which would be I think it's the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, the 18th dynasty. And again, I correlate that with the years 1800. Because again, it ain't what you think it is. I've done the research and the timeline doesn't match. So I have my own theoretic approach when I'm looking at that. If you want to know more about that, then you'll have to look at some of those videos. Okay, because it's hard for me to stay focused because like I said, I have a lot on my mind. Okay, a lot of information that I would like to bring to the people. Again, I don't have too much time to spend arguing with people. It's not that I don't appreciate someone coming in with a separate opinion. It's just I have work to do. And I can't let my spirit be disturbed by going back and forth about something that is, petty. So Again, I think what I think. That's why I posted on my page. Either you like it or you don't. You have something to say or you don't. But I don't want to sit there and argue with nobody. I've already done the research. This I'm inciting. Hopefully for people to open up and do their own damn research. Don't never listen to what I said. All I'm supposed to do is just open up your eyes a little bit and then you do the rest. Okay? So, again, thank you guys for watching and take care.